I also got to go. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Tzadi Gimel. Actually, I think the Daf Yomi app was off this morning because every morning I listened to the review and it was like talking about a different page, and I was worried I prepared the wrong Gemara and I left my Gemara. Yeah, like I had to count the show. I got here earlier, so make sure I did the right thing. Okay, so yesterday we actually discussed, we wanted to bring a proof from Rabbi Kiva that he held a case of a person could be makna davar shaloba olam, that he can give over something which does not exist yet, whether it's paris that didn't grow or something he didn't acquire, or in our case, we're talking about after chalitza. So that was the case. And then we was deflected by saying, no, it wasn't talking about something that wasn't in this world, her wages, because she's talking about that which her hands do, and her hands are in this world. So the Gemara says, upligi, 5 lines on the top of Tzadi Gimel with Aleph. Actually, I'll take a black coffee. Yes. Thank you. Upligi to Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Oh, that might be done before the time you finish 2 coffees. So upligi to Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. And however, we argue with that which Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak knows to say that Rabbi Kiva holds that ein adam makna davar shelo be'olam, that he cannot do that. He argues with Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Rav Huna, Karav, the Rav, Karav Yanai, the Rebbe, Yanai, Karav Chia, Karav Chia, Karabi, the Rebbe, Karavi Meir, the Rebbe Meir, Karavi Ezra ben Yaakov, Rebbe Ezra ben Yaakov, Karabi Kiva. So 8 of them. The Omar, Adam, Makna, Davar, Shaloi, Bal, Olam. A person can go ahead and give over, right? And I guess, or give, or he can transfer something that it is not currently in existence. So now we're going to bring the examples of each one. So Rav Huna Mahi, what's the case of Rav Huna? Di Tamari was said, a person who goes ahead, he's selling fruits of his palm tree to his friend. Even before these he says, okay, this tree is going to produce fruits, 100 apples, whatever, the 100 apples I'll sell to you. So before they start to grow, you can go ahead and be chayes and say, you know what, forget it, no deal. However, once they grow in, then he can't go ahead and be chayzer. So you see over there, Rav Huna says that even though he made the condition before they grew, once they grow, it's done, right? You can't go back. Rav Nachman says that even in the case of when they come to when they begin to grow, we can still be chayzer because the deal was made before they're in existence, and therefore a person cannot go ahead and transfer or make some sort of kinyan with those items that did not exist yet.
So we're talking about futures.
Something that's not in existence.
Truth, right? In this case, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak are not
What?
Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak was the one who said that all these people hold it down to bar makna shul ba'olam.
Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, yes.
And here we're saying Rav Nachman is.
No. This is just right. Yeah, I guess it's different. Yeah. Now. I know Rav Nachman. However, Rav Nachman says, but he says, but however, the condition works to the point that if the buyer goes ahead and chops some of them, then we don't go ahead and remove it from his hands. And Rav, what was the case of Rav? So Rav Huna, Rav, a person says, this field that I'm buying, right? When I buy it, it'll be from years from now. Kana. That such a case works. And Rabbi Yanai, Kreb Chia, where's Rabbi Yanai Kreb Chia? The Rabbi Yanai Havili, recent Havi Maisi Lake, concept of Pere called Mali Shabasa, that he used to have this sharecropper, an aris. They used to go ahead and bring him a basket of fruits every Shabbos, and every Shabbos he would go ahead and fix and take the Chumas and Maisros before Shabbos. And one Shabbos, and one Friday it came and it was getting late and he didn't come yet. So Shakel, Esther Mipire de Base. So he went ahead, he says, you know what, maybe he'll bring it later or whatever, I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it now because maybe he'll just give it to me on Shabbat or whatever it is, right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove the Trumas HaMeiser now. So also
it's not even in front of him.
That's the point. That's what we're talking about. Uh-huh. This is the whole concept we're talking about, right? Maybe they weren't picked yet. Right? They weren't exist yet. Who knows? So also the Reb Chia came for Reb Chia. So I'm like, Shapir about it, right? No, you did well, Tanya. So the pasuk over there is referring to by Truma and Maestros, and says over there, right? You'll eat it for Hashem. So the pasuk is coming to teach you that you can go ahead and take Truma and Meister. So you can go ahead and even do it. So what is he talking about? So what do you need the pasuk for? if we're talking about that, you can go ahead and take meiser and eat it. So eat your kala mishrei tilted rabbanan. But you need a pasuk to come and teach you. There's no pasuk going to be warning you about that for a shvus, right? To remove the trumas meiser is only a shvus. So that can't be what the pasuk is referring to. Ella, rather, what is this pasuk referring to? Thank you. Ella laf yagavda. Rather, it's talking about this case, right? In other words, it's mutter to go ahead and take meiser on something shalom elam, right? And something which is the future going to come for Onik Shabbos. So therefore, right, you're going to be blessed for preparing for Onik Shabbos by taking trumas and meisers before that they are even in front of you, and even in existence. So I'm like, but wait, I have a problem. I saw my dream after I did this. I saw a kana rutzos, right? A broken reed. So I saw a broken reed in my dream. So the pasuk over there says that, right, that even you've relied upon a broken reed. In other words, you did something wrong, right? In other words, just saying that, in other words, it was a bad omen. So he says, no, no, this is what the broken reed was talking about. Right? It'll say then, I guess, in the Shiach or Makom, so that it won't need to do anything, won't even need to break a reed, or won't even need to put out a small fire, right? Because, you won't need anything to be proven. So you see over here that it's a good thing. So therefore, no, it was a good thing that he took Trumas and Meiser before for the purpose of Onik Shabbos. And in other words, a person can be makna, can do transactions before the item is b'yela.
But what's the hakna? Is it being makna the Trumas and Meiser?
Right. Yeah. Right. So I guess it is. He gets the ticket before. Also, what is b'yela? In other words, they already grew. Was it they weren't picked yet, or they were? So yeah, but maybe they weren't in front of him.
Yeah.
But it was all based, so that what she says, all these people the same shita. In other words, they have some level of, shalom b'olam.
So did he have other produce that he?
No.
Tevel, that he
No.
was-
He separated other produce based on the futures that were going to be the future produce that were coming to.
So he did separate something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
That was the case, right? He said that was what he said. He separated stuff before these. His
So
usual sharecropper brought the stuff.
that he had must have been Tevel, because if it was already
Why you're taking it from,
matured,
right?
then you can't take Truma and Meiser from it again. He must have had other produce.
No, but you can separate. You can.
You can.
I think you can.
From one over another at some certain stage.
You can buy out by third.
All right. Fine. We'll say it's Tevel. Fine. Rebbe. So what was the case of Rebbe? The Tanya loy sasker eved al adonov. So a person should not go ahead and right. So it says a person should not go ahead and deliver an eved to his master. So what does that mean? Rabbi Yomi belokech eved al manas l'shachar. Right, to go ahead and acquire right an eved on the condition to free him. So that's the puzzle was talking about. So hey, Chidami, what's the case? Right, when I go ahead and acquire you, then you will go ahead and be acquired. Basically, you'll be freed from now. So in other words, he's basically freeing him before he purchases him, and that's considered to be being makna davar shel. Every mayor, the Tawad on a Mishnah, we saw this earlier. A guy says, "Hey, right now I'm a guy, I can't marry, but will you be mekudeshes to me after I convert, or after you convert and I'm a Jew, or after I become freed as a slave, or after you become freed, or I know you're married now, but when your husband dies, will you accept this kedushin to be married to me, or he's married to her sister and says after your sister dies, or after you do or after your yavam does chalitza to you, eina mikudeshes. This is not married. This does not work. You can't do it. It's not possible. Rav Meir mikudeshes. Rav Meir says mikudeshes because you can go ahead and do some sort of transaction for something that doesn't exist yet.
Even for the guy who was going to be the skyer?
Yes, that was the case. So Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, the Tanya, yes, okay, number Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, afilu im omar peiros aruga, so telushim yu truma al peiros aruga mechubar. A person says, okay, these fruits, which are, I guess, already plucked, will be truma on peiros of this row that are connected, or peiros aruga mechaburim al peiros telushin, or these ones that are connected for the fruits that are going to be picked over here. And in other words, they will be truma for them when they grow to a third. And then, indeed, eventually they do grow to at least a third of their full growth. Devarav kayam. The words work. In other words, even though they didn't grow yet, and you wanted to go ahead and basically pre-designate the trumas and maasros, that did work. Rabbi Kiva, and what was the case? Rabbi Kiva at the time we learned in the Mishnah, kainem sheini oiseh leficha. This is the case we had before, right? This agreement. How do you understand Rabbi Kiva? That a woman says to her husband that I'm basically swearing off from you. They're going to be forbidden to you. That which I do will be also to you. Right? Doesn't need to go ahead and nullify it because first of all, he owns her ma'aseh deha, and second of all, they don't exist, so she can't answer it. And Rabbi Kiva no, Yafir, he has to go ahead and nullify. Why? Because perhaps her wages normally she doesn't pay him $200 a week, right? But if she goes ahead and works overtime and earns $250, so there's an extra $50 that she can aser on her husband because he doesn't get the extra. He only gets the ma'aseh deha. So Rabbi Kiva says, even though, right, that's not in existence yet, therefore you have to go. The netter would be chalanan, and therefore you have to go ahead and nullify it. Fine. Period. Back to our case we discussed before. What is the case by Eid Echad by Yavama? In other words, can we say that she does Yibum, right, based upon a testimony of one person testifying? Now we talked about a person, they testify their husband dies, right? So maybe those cases talking about when two people testify her husband dies and she does Yibum, but I want, let's see. So Mao. So Talmud Eidach and Mishum Milsa Davdi Ligulay Meshakir.
Before based, right? If there's just one aid, then in order for her to
we're discussing the one witness comes before Beis Din and testifies or one right.
Basic.
So what we say? So Eidach Mishum Milsa Davdi Ligulay Meshakir. Do we say that's something which can be exposed? Right? No one's going to lie about it. So if someone claims that someone's dead, obviously when the person has been seen walking around, you're going to look as a huge liar. So therefore, people aren't going to lie about something that they'll be exposed for. So to over here, right? The testimony that that the husband dies and she goes to Yibum, also she wouldn't die. Oh, Dilmar perhaps. Normally the reason is that she's going to go ahead and look into the matter. However, over here, that since there are times that, right, she does want to go ahead and do Yibum, like Daika means, right? She likes her brother-in-law, so therefore she's not going to go ahead and look into the matter. You say it's good, okay, fine. So I'm going to go ahead and can she do Yibum? Similarly, Rav Sheshas, Tanisua. Well, let's look at our Mishnah. Amrullah meis bincha v'chaka meis balecha. So it says over there in that case, the Mishnah, the first case, the Mishnah says, right, your son died, and afterwards your husband died. So therefore, when the time your husband died, you had no children, and therefore you have to do Yibum. Then it's Yabba, it says that she does Yibum. And afterwards, witnesses come, and Amrullah Chilaf Advar knows opposite. They said, no, that the husband died first, and therefore you had kids, and therefore there was no Yibum. Teisei, Vavlad, Rishon, V'achron, Mamzer. And both the sets would be Mamzer. No, anyone from the second brother, or right? And we said over there that's Lav Dafka, but the people will be Mamzer. Now, hey Chidami, what's the case there? Who told her that first the son died and then the husband? Ilema Treo Trey. If it was 2 and 2, so my cousin Samachani. Why do you believe the second two? Believe the first two. The other, furthermore, Mamzer, you call him is he a Mamzer? Something Mamzer. Only if it's Trey with Trey, it's 2 versus 2. Why is anybody kids from the Yavam of Ade Mamzer should be a something Mamzer? The Chitem Lodak. And if you want to say, okay, calls him Mamzer, maybe it's just a something Mamzer. Harishon Mamzer Bachron Aina Mamzer. By the Seifa, when it talks about a case of basically when the husband died and she did Yibum too early, so the children are Mamzer from the brother. So over there. Right, so in that case, we're doing. It says from the first one, is a mamzer. The second one is not a mamzer, right? Or he goes back after. So we are dafka there. So shmamina dafka katani. So we see it's dafka. The lashon of the Mishnah is dafka. So obviously over here we're talking about a vade mamzer. So elalav. Rather now, what's the case of the Mishnah? Shmamina chad. Really, one person testifies. The child died. Your son died first, and then the husband, and then she goes ahead to zibum, and the Talmud also betray nachusha. And only because it goes back, there's a mamzeris over there, is because two witnesses come and say, no, it was the other way around. However, if it wasn't for that matter, if two witnesses never came along and that was just what it was, then mehemen, then one witness would be believed. So we do see that one witness does have the power to go ahead and allow her to go ahead and do yibum with her brother. And some have a slightly different version.
In a case like that, though, wouldn't it be better for her to do chalitza? Because maybe
better. I mean, I don't know better, but it'll be mutter and be fulfilled the mitzvah. We're saying that the person is believed to that extent. One person is believed to that extent because something could be revealed. Some have the version. Some other ask. I'm sorry.
It's a question of who died first, and it'll never be revealed.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Good point. But it could be right. In other words, you won't have the clear proof, but it could be that there could be just testimony later on that would disprove. Yeah, I hear.
It's all mehemanus.
Right. Or some say, no, that wasn't the question. Even she herself is believed to say, hey, right, the Tanan, we learn in a Isha Sha'amra Meis Bali. A woman says, my husband died. Tina say she can go ahead and remarry, or Meis Bali, or she says her husband died. Tisyaba, she can do Yibum. So what's the question? To permit her, right, to a Yavama, in other words, let's say she has to do Yibum. So let's say the testimony was either that the brother died also, right? Is a husband died and the brother died, and therefore there's no Yavam, she's Moteris Lashuk. Or maybe the case we said before, right? That when the father and the son died, you claim that the father died first and then the son, therefore there is no Yibum, and she's Moteris Lashuk. So my timer. So what's the reason why we normally the is believed that's something that could be revealed, right? That something could be, factually something that's objective, not subjective. A person loy mishaker does not go ahead and lie. So over here, no one would lie to be matir the Yavama Lashuk. Odilma, maybe the reason was Echad is a woman's going to go ahead and remarry. So she'll look into the matter and make sure that she's, it's kosher for her, right? And if she's any doubt, she's going to go ahead and do a yibum or not go ahead and get married. Right? Maybe she's not going to be checking this case. The means that she hates her brother-in-law, right? The Saniya that she hates him. Samarlu. So he says, it was just a couple lines out, we'll just finish the sugya. Samarlu, Rav Sheshes says, Tanisul, let's look at a Mishnah. All right, we're going to bring the same proof that we brought before. Amrullah, they told her, first your husband died, and then your son died. In other words, that when your husband died, you had kids, and therefore you're Muteris Lashuk. The niece says, so then she goes ahead and marries somebody else. Amru Dvar knows the opposite. Really, you need to do Yibum. So Tate say, so she has to go ahead and leave that guy who she met in the Shuk. Ba'avlad Rishon ve'achron mamzer. We say it was according to Rabbi Kiva, who says the vlad's a mamzer because she's Yavam L'Shuk. So now, hey Chidami, what was the case? How many witnesses testified that first the husband died and then the son? Ilema Treu Trey. If we're talking about two witnesses testified that the husband died first and then the son, and then two witnesses come after and say the son and then the father. My chassid is honey. Why do you believe the second case? Believe the first case. Furthermore, mamzer is he a mamzer? Subbing mamzer. It's only a subbing. It's 2 versus 2. And if you want to say, okay, called a mamzer, is really means a subbing mamzer. How many times Sefer by the Sefer says Harishon mamzer, v'achron ain't a mamzer. It says in the case of the Sefer, the first one is a mamzer, the second one is not a mamzer. So shmami no davko. So you see over there that the Mishnah wasn't playing games. The Mishnah was being specific. Elalav chad. Rather, must be talking about it was one witness who says first the husband and the son. The Talmud also made straight. The only reason why in that case is mamzeris is because two came afterwards. Halav hachi. But if they never came along, we just had the one testimony. So we see that one person indeed would be believed to matter a Yavam L'Shuk. So the Gemara says no, maybe not. Really, it was 2 and 2. So why is the second pair believed? It says another case talking about Eidi Azama. Hakanami Eidi Azama. So over here talking about Eidi Azama. In other words, the two second witnesses come. First of all, how can you testify that the husband died, right? And then the son, right? You were with us. You weren't even there. You were seen somewhere else. So therefore, in such a case, that's not a case of treate 2 and 2. The Torah tells us specifically that you believe the second witnesses over the first. And we'll stop here. Everybody, have a wonderful day. And